So you made $1 million. Now what? $1 million isn't what it used to be. But now you've got some finance and experience to go exponential. If you're not there yet, we recommend you go ahead and watch part 1 of this series, where we handpicked the videos that had the most significant impact on us getting our first million. But once you're able to make substantial money, the way you think about life and business changes. And these books will dramatically accelerate your progress, because that's exactly what they've done for us. Here are 15 books to read after you've made your first $1 million. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Number 1. Ready, Fire, Aim. 0 to 100 million in no time flat by Michael Masterson. This book has been instrumental in our understanding of how businesses need to change at different stages and what you need to focus on. There are 4 stages to a company's growth. Stage 1, infancy. 0 to $1 million in revenue. Stage 2, childhood. $1 million to $10 million in revenue. Stage 3, adolescence, $10 million to $50 million in revenue, and Stage 4, adulthood, $50 million to $100 million in revenue. This book goes into actionable detail on what skills you need to master at each stage and what your focus should be on. It was one of our most valuable reads last year. By the way, we'll link to all of these books in the description. Number 2. Happy, Sexy Millionaire: Unexpected Truths About Fulfillment, Love, and Success by Steven Bartlett. In this book, Steven complains about achievement as not what you would expect it to be. The book is really only valuable if you've already achieved financial success and you're wondering why it isn't what you were promised it would be. On a personal note, we related a lot with Steven's story because for us it played out in an almost identical fashion without the stock exchange listing. We went from poverty to wealth. We bought the penthouse, the black-on-black Range Rover, and although we enjoy them, it didn't change us as much as we expected it to in terms of real happiness. Here's a quote from the book that we found revealing. "I saw happiness as something I could win by adding more and more points to some imaginary scoreboard of success, wealth, fame, and accomplishment. But how can you win a game when the only end to the game is when the player, you, dies?" We were happy before the money. Now that we don't have to worry about money problems, we try to focus on getting peace. At Alux, we believe that everyone can find fulfillment and enlightenment, but let's get you rich first. Number 3. Traction: Get a Grip on Your Business by Gino Wickman. As the CEO of a business, usually the visionary person, you want to make everything happen all at once and you want to do it now. You're trying to perfect the product, hire 2 to 3 new essential hires, and work beyond your hourly capacity. We got self-trapped in this way of operating by trying to do too much all at once. It leads to our employees being frustrated, a constant feeling of pressure, and us on the verge of perpetual burnout. Traction is actually the latest book we've read because we were looking for a specific answer to strategic burnout, and it delivers. It forces you to zoom out and work on solving the business instead of working in the business. There's nothing revolutionary about this book, but you need to be reminded more than you need to be taught. If you feel like you're juggling too many things at once and you need a way out, this is it. Number 4. 100 Million Offers: How to Make Offers So Good People Feel Stupid Saying No, and 100 Million Leads book coming soon by Hormozi. Some of you may know Hormozi from, well, everywhere these days, and we couldn't be more proud of all the attention he's getting. It's well-deserved, and it's about time. $100 Million Offers is as actionable as it gets. This is a tactical book. We asked all the founders to read it, and based on it, we've made several adjustments to the way they structure the offers for their products, and it works. If you've made it to millionaire status, small tweaks you'll learn from this book will lead to substantial increases in your conversions. Part 2 of this series should be coming out in the next couple of weeks, which will focus on getting leads. If it's as actionable as the first, you're gonna love it. Since you're part of our community, if you go to Alux.com/freebook right now, and this is your first time signing up, you can get any one of the books on this list for free as an audiobook, thanks to our friends at Audible. We're able to read so much because we get books in physical or digital format as well as audiobooks. We increase the audio playback speed to 1.3 to 1.5 times and then follow through on the actual book. Go to Alux.com/freebook right now and sign up to give this hack a try. Number 5. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Now that you've got money, people around you have something to gain from you. 48 Laws of Power is one of the most insightful books into human nature and psychology that we've read. We've seen it play out time and time again with business deals and even with some of our closest friends. Betrayals, self-interest, maneuvers, and backstabbing will be a part of your new reality, and it definitely helps to have a heads up than to experience it all firsthand. It gives you a behind-the-curtain look on what people will do to climb up the social and financial ladder. It made us more aware and careful about just how open and trustworthy we are. You'll love this book. Number 6. Building a StoryBrand. Clarify your message so customers will listen by Donald Miller. Either for your business or yourself, this is a valuable, easy-to-read guide to make sure your branding is solid. In a world where technology is eating up processes, branding will become one of, if not the most valuable differentiator out there. The story that you and your company tells can radically change consumer behavior. This book is the shortest path to getting there. Number 7. Never Finished by David Goggins as a follow-up to Can't Hurt Me. So, you made your first $1 million, but it doesn't feel like you have arrived. Sure, the bills are paid and your fridge is now full. You feel like you should be able to kick back, but when you try it, something doesn't feel right. Congratulations, my friend, you just realized that money on its own isn't going to do much for your mental health, so you need to take your mind to the gym. We like David Goggins as inspiration for pushing yourself beyond what you believe you're capable of. Sure, the man is a beast and not everyone wants to become an ultra runner, but there's tremendous value for people like us to explore the mind and see what triggers that inner bitch. Number 8. The Great CEO Within, The Tactical Guide to Company Building by Matt Mochary. When we were building the Alux app, we wanted to find the absolute best performance coaches on the planet to help create the curriculum on the app. That's how we found Matt Mochary. He's the personal coach of some of the most well-known CEOs in the world. He's coached Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, Naval Ravikant, former CEO of AngelList, Steve Hoffman, the CEO of Reddit, and the list goes on with heavy-hitter names like Coinbase, Canva, Sequoia, OpenSea, Y Combinator, and more. You cannot hire Matt to work with you no matter how much money you throw at him. He only chooses clients once every few years, but he did write this book, The Great CEO Within, which walks everyone through his methodology. If you're a CEO, we definitely recommend it. He's the kind of coach that we're trying to bring to the Alux app in order for everyone to have access to what the elites have gatekept so far. Coaches like him cost over $100,000 per year easily, and our goal is to bring you the same level of expertise for only $99 a year. Go to Alux.com/app right now and see just how transformative the Alux app is. Number 9. Built to Sell, Creating a Business That Can Thrive Without You by John Warrillow. Here's the truth, okay? You got to $1 million by working your butt off. But what got you your first million is not enough to get you to 100 million. For a business to scale, it needs to be able to perform at a growth level without you. If your business only grows when you flex your productive muscles, you don't really have a business, you've got a job that you're really good at. Building to Sell forces you to look at the business from an exit perspective. What would need to happen for someone to be confident in buying your business, with the focus being, can it run without you? If you plan on ever selling your company or eventually taking a step back, you should definitely read this book. Number 10, Measure What Matters, the simple idea that drives 10x growth by Doerr. The more you grow, the more you'll realize just how important systems of performance are. It won't take you long until you realize that big companies like Google or Intel got to where they are because of how good their systems are. You start digging and you find out about OKRs, objectives, and key results. Measure What Matters is the perfect book for you to understand how they work and how you can implement them in your organization or even life. The truth is, you can get to $1 million by accident. It can happen, but going up from there will require some comprehensive frameworks. Number 11, Thinking Fast and Slow by Kahneman. The future of your life will be determined by the quality of the decisions you will be able to make. Thinking Fast and Slow is one of those fundamental books in understanding how the mind works and how we as humans make decisions. This book will help you to not only understand your business, but give you a deep dive into how your customers make decisions. After you read this book, you'll shift how you make financial decisions. Money before your first million is emotional. After your money needs are taken care of, you need to shift your thinking to fully rational if you want the kind of outcomes you're going after. Number 12, Good to Great, Why Some Companies Make the Leap and Others Don't, by Jim Collins. You know how we say that fundamentals are the most important attribute for long-term success? Well, Good to Great is based on a 30-year study of top-performing companies in order to understand what are the commonalities between them. If you're looking for what the next 4 years of your business will look like, this is the book for you. It boils down to 3 key focus points: finding what differentiates you, how to adopt tech, and being brutally honest with yourself. Number 13, High Output Management by Andrew S. Grove. A friend of ours who runs 3 multi-million-dollar companies urged us to read this book in one of our conversations, saying, and we quote, "This is the best book for someone who manages a company." It's written by former Intel CEO Andy Grove, and in Silicon Valley, it's regarded as the management Bible. Honestly, this book is probably worth several $1 million in mistakes you'll avoid during your career. And you can buy it for $10 to $20 and finish it in a day. Number 14, Blitzscaling, The Lightning-Fast Path to Building Massively Valuable Companies by Reid Hoffman. You've heard of Reid Hoffman from PayPal and LinkedIn. At its peak, PayPal was growing 10% per day. Yes, not per month or year, per day. That means doubling your customer base in 1 week or a 16x multiple by the end of the month. Turns out there are predictable growth patterns that you can leverage to achieve massive scale in the shortest period possible, and this book goes through them. Honestly, it's a full-on Stanford Business School education or Y Combinator in a single book. Number 15, Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order by Dalio. We started this list with the individual and toward the end focused on the business. The last book on our list has to do with macro trends. Dalio is the founder of the largest hedge fund in the world, Bridgewater Associates. Bridgewater is the kind of fund that can shift nations. In Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order, you'll learn to think about the world in macro terms, and soon you'll realize we're in the last days before the world hierarchy changes. This has happened numerous times in human history, and it never goes smoothly. You've made your first million, and your interest is to keep it as well as to grow it for the foreseeable future. This book helps you realize just how fragile a country's economy is and how change is inevitable. You need to learn to adapt or you'll get caught in the crossfire. We know some of you have already achieved millionaire status, so we want your input. What is the most helpful book you read after you made your first million? Let us know in the comments. And as for those of you still watching, we've reserved a bonus, of course. Books for your soul and health. Once you get the bag, you realize your focus is shifting toward your ability to enjoy the spoils of your efforts. More precisely, you'll be looking at how to stay healthy for as long as possible from both a physical, mental, and spiritual perspective. Here are some books that we found useful. Tuesdays with Mochary. It's the exploration of someone who's dying. It brings into focus what's important to someone who doesn't have much time left. The final book is Tony Robbins' Life Force. It's his latest book, which focuses on longevity and what are the small changes one can make to feel healthier and increase the quality of their lives. Since we're at the very end of this video, we want to share something personal with you, the true Aluxers. The first half of this year, we're focusing on the Alux app as a product. Massive upgrades are coming in the following weeks that will take this great app and make it sensational. Once that's up and running, we want to publish our first book. We've been documenting our progress here on YouTube and our website for almost a decade. It's time that we went through all of it, found the most valuable golden nuggets, and put it all into the first Alux book. More updates are coming later this year, but we do hope that when we publish it, you'll show up and support us. If you would buy our book, please write Alux book in the comments. We're curious to see how many of you would get it. Thanks for spending some time with us today, Aluxer. We're so glad you did. If you found value in today's video, please give us a like, hit that bell icon to never miss an upload, and hey, don't forget to subscribe.